Hello, YouTube. How are ya? How is your week going? What'd you do today? Today I rode my bike to the office, even though I work from home, but I feel like every several weeks I'm like, okay, I need a change of scenery, like a couple times a month. It's nice to have like a desk that I can use just for the day. So then I can get like a quick change of scenery. But I only went in the morning and then I rode my home bike at lunch, and it's nice just to break up the day. I see I already have some friends here, which is awesome. Hi, Anastasia. Hi, Jolene. Hi, PH Actress. How's it going? Hey, Coconut. Yay. So many people. Hi, Demi. So exciting. Thank you guys for joining me. It's so awesome that you're here. This is so fun already, and we haven't even started. So Mr. Ranger Lab said what's going on? 9 p.m. and I'm still awake. I must be feeling better. 9:30 p.m. Oh yeah, you said you were feeling a bit sick. So I'm sorry that you're so sick, but I'm glad you're starting to feel better. And please go to sleep anytime you need to, of course. So this was another Amway video from the same channel we watched the last video on. I don't know why I put it on the screen like this, because it's the same strange quotes that were up on the screen that we all got distracted on the last time. And this time the quotes are in Spanish, so we don't really need to watch it. But when I just had it shared, but with my face on the screen, it was lagging a lot. So maybe we'll see oftentimes when my video is lagging, I'll just take myself off the camera, like off camera. So we'll see. I might have random Spanish quotes on the screen, or I may not, depending on if my thingy is connected. Oh, Coconuts is lurking while making dinner. Awesome. I've been dragging, but it's getting better. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I was a sicko last week. It sucked. It sucked. I'm so glad to be past it. It took a while. Took a lot longer than I would have liked, but it's always nice when you feel better. So this is a good video. It's a speech by a lady named Beverly Saley, who I've never covered before. As you can see, or you could see before, you don't see it now. It's only like, it's a pretty short speech, but I have a lot to say about it. And so I think this will be interesting. Hopefully my computer cooperates with me. So I'm going to press play, and hopefully the connection's all good. If not, we'll figure it out.
Well, I went on through school and was very driven to be a pianist and to perform on stages. Funny how that worked out, isn't it?
So I literally I click play, and then my connection just plummets. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Could you hear that? Was my connection okay? Maybe I'll give it longer than 12 seconds. Ooh, currently crocheting a wool cap. Awesome. This is the first Amway person you've mentioned that I've never heard of before. Ooh, interesting. Yeah. Let's Google her. I didn't even Google her, because I used to Google them. I would go to Amway unofficial wiki, and I would look up every person that I talk about, but then I stopped doing that. I wonder why. There's so many cords on this desk. It's like a pile of cords. Beverly Saley. Saley. Okay, I want to know, I liked unofficial Amway Amway wiki, because it told us about what they did in Amway, right? What rank they were in, how they were building their Amway business. But this, they don't actually tell you anything in these articles I'm trying to look at here. So we're not going to Google. So I'm going to play it for longer than 12 seconds. And can you guys confirm that you can hear and that the connection doesn't suck? Thank you.
And I used to practice and practice and practice because I was driven. I had a goal. Isn't that what you have to do every day? When you have the goal, doesn't mean you like it. Doesn't mean it's convenient. But if you're going to make the goal, you have to do the practicing. And that's what I did. Every day practicing. Nobody had to make me do it. I had the goal. I set the goal for myself. Have any of you ever tried to get your child to practice and they didn't want to practice? They didn't see the goal. They didn't see what it was that they could accomplish. So by the time I got out of school,
okay, it looked to be okay. I was keeping a close eye on my connections up by like the time and the number of people watching, so I think it's okay. So she's telling us about how important it is to practice, just like our kids don't want to practice. It's really hard to get like our children to do something that they don't want to do. And similarly, if we have goals in our Amway business, we just need to practice, right? And nothing wrong with that sentiment, because if we do want to get better at something, we do need practice. I take my hobby here, for example. If you guys were to watch like one of my first videos, you would see I was awkward. I'm awkward now, but if you compare the two, I am 1,000 times better and more comfortable on camera than I was. When was it, like December 2021 or something? So yeah, if you want to improve, you need to practice, but you can do all of the practicing you want in Amway. You can be totally bought into your upline's system. You can be totally bought into Amway ideology and do everything they say and show all the plans. But if you are showing the plan to people who know that Amway's a scam, it's not going to matter how good you are, and you're still going to lose money. Okay. Yay. Woohoo. Thank you. Thank you for telling me. Hello, Neil. Lovely to see you. This is an Amway speech we're listening to. I hope you enjoy it. It's by a lady named Beverly Saley.
I had a degree in piano, and then I got a master's degree in choral conducting, and I thought I was ready for life, that everything was going to work out fine. Isn't that what they told you? You're going to, grow up and go to school and get a good job, and everything will be fine. How many know it's not fine now? I understand you have this wonderful term here called redundant. Is this correct?
So she's talking about the experience of thinking that your university college education is going to set you up really well for a great job when you're done. And she thought like she was set and that everything would be fine. And then you quickly realize that everyone, at least nowadays, I'm basing this off of my experience, everyone has it who's going after the jobs you want also has a degree. Everyone has similar knowledge. Everyone has similar experiences to you. And it's incredibly hard for a young person nowadays, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I'm sure, to establish themselves in the career that they want. And so I think by saying that, you are inadvertently targeting the people who are at a point of transition in their lives. They're young adults who are wanting to be adults and be like efficient contributing members of society, but maybe it's taking them a bit longer. Maybe they had to move back in with their parents, which no shame in that. We all need help sometimes. Nothing wrong with moving back in with your parents, but I think they're just targeting the people who are unsure and worried about what their life is going to look like. Everyone's saying hello. That's so nice.
This happens to people. So I thought, what's happened? I have all these degrees and everything should be good, and it wasn't good. And I had two young children. They were 4 and 7. And someone showed me this business. And I didn't believe it. So if you're here for the first time today and you're wondering, is this true? Could it possibly be? I'll tell you, I'm 1,860 years old now, and it's really true. So from the time I started till now, it's 26 years.
So she had young children. She had 2 degrees, but was struggling financially, and someone presented the business to her, and she thought, like, no way it can be real. It's not real. No one can make this amount of money in this business. And people like to say, well, of course you can make money because I made money, and if I can do it, then you can do it too. But we know that's not the case. Looks like I have shitty ass internet. I hope you guys can hear me. And we know just because one person can make the scam work for them doesn't mean that everyone else can. And it's just a way to deceive people and make them feel like it's going to be super easy for them to fly up the ranks and make a lot of money. But then when they question why they are following everything their upline is telling them to do and they're still losing money every single month, their upline's going to gaslight them and say, well, why do you think it's going to be easy? Why? And then you come back and say, well, you told me that because you did it, that I can do it too. So yeah, you told me it's going to be easy. Yeah. Know what I mean? I'm so distracted by my freaking internet connection.
Cheers. I've never seen a business that has more possibility for you for the future than this. And I've been offered hundreds of businesses. I'm sure Trevor and Graham and Hillary have too. Buy companies, get into companies, but I've never seen anything with this kind of potential. So you are an absolutely perfect place for this. But I was checking everything, look.
I've never seen a business with this kind of potential. You are in the absolute perfect place. There's so many other things we can do where we have potential. We can start our own business. We can do a big business, a small business. We can open up a nonprofit where we help people, where we improve their quality of life. Buying a business, if you're financially well off enough, do that. You're more likely to find financial success and actually make money doing that than you are in Amway. And apparently she's never been introduced to a business with so much potential. Well, obviously, because you got in, I don't know if she got in early. You were lucky enough to be able to recruit a buttload of people underneath you, and that's how you were able to make money. If people can't convince others to join them and stay with them, it doesn't matter. I'm changing the format of this, and I'm going to take my face off the screen when it's playing so the connection is better. It's really bothering me. Hi, Tori. How's it going? Nice to see you. Hi, Lisa. Thank you for joining. Okay, let's go. Keep going.
Looking over everything, wondering, would this thing work? And I remember thinking, boy, this better work out or I'm going to kill somebody. They tell you all these things and how you should work and everything. So I go to my first convention. Now,
this better work out or I'm going to kill somebody. So she was in a position financially where she had 2 degrees, but she wasn't making enough money. She was desperate. She was told this was going to work. She was told this is the business with the most potential. And so maybe she was in a position where her family was in significant debt, or they were going to lose the house, or they had to get rid of one of their cars. And so she was having to bus her kids across town to school every day. And maybe she was desperate for change. And she was one of the very few lucky ones who were able to actually use the system to her advantage and make a lot of money in Amway. But the vast majority of people listening to this speech, whatever year it was in, they're not going to get to her level of success. I imagine it would have been even harder to move a whole downline, and this was the best opportunity on top of her current pyramid. Yeah, good point. Good point. It's frustrating. It's just so deceitful. Let's just be honest. Just be honest. Be like, I was lucky. I'm outgoing. I was able to recruit a lot of people, and that's why I found success. You're not going to make money unless you recruit. Why can't we just say that? And please excuse the Spanish quotes. I think they're Spanish. I don't know. And the random pictures.
First of all, they told me we had to go to a convention in Portland. Now, for me, in good weather, that was 4 hours. But we had a lot of snow in Oregon. And so in bad weather, that could be 6 hours. How long is it going to take you to get to Gothenburg? Depends on if you swim or fly, I guess. But, it's a ways, and it's a commitment for you to think about. Should I go? Is it really worth it to go? Well, this is how I had to go. Number one, it dawned on me one day that if I were going to have any money at all to build any kind of a business, I had to sell products. What a phenomenal idea. So I began to get some retail clients and to sell products so that I had the money for my meetings and for my tapes and my tickets.
Isn't that interesting? She sold products to retail customers so she would have money for her tapes and her meetings and her conferences, not so she would have money to feed her children or pay her bills. She would have money to put back into the business, because we're told in Amway that if we don't invest back into our business, if we don't read 3 books a week, if we don't read all the books, if we don't go to all the conferences, if we don't listen to all the tapes, we're not going to find success. So how is an Amway distributor just starting out, just trying to build their business, supposed to make any money if every cent they're making goes right back into the Amway tool scam? And she's talking about how long of a drive it was for her to get to a lot of her conferences. So we are also factoring in gas. And then she's going to talk about hotel. You're going to need food when you're there. You're going to need someone to watch your children, most likely. Although a few people in our chat have said that children were often at the Amway events, and then kids who are a little bit older, maybe 10 or 11, would be responsible for watching like 20 little kids. So I guess maybe childcare isn't always required depending on what team you're in, but maybe if you're going to a meeting with people who don't have a bunch of kids, maybe you don't have a slightly older kid to watch your kid, right? It just all adds up. Oh, I'm going to be listening and lurking while I get a few things done. Awesome. Thank you for lurking.
I didn't count on needing money for a hotel room. So I drove over there in my Volkswagen, and I slept in the Volkswagen at the meeting. 2 nights. It's a little cold in the winter in Oregon, but you know what? If you have a goal, you can do it. And when I would take the kids, I always made sure I arranged babysitting in the town where we were going, much cheaper, and I'm with the kids all the way there, arranged babysitting there, and then I took the kids on a special treat afterwards. And I would always have, kids, this is going to be so much fun. We're going to go camping in the city. You've never been camping in the city before. It's really fun to go camping in the city. So we'd pack a little lunch, and we'd take their little sleeping bags and everything, and I'd take them over to the babysitters, and then when we were done, I'd smile, thank you very much, and then we'd go back and park in a gas station overnight, and we'd camp in the city. And they're all this.
All right. So when she was at her conferences, she would get a babysitter in the town that she was in, maybe into a big, exciting thing for her kids. Like, we're going to go to a new place and go camping. And sure, children, she's going to say later, as long as you're excited, then your kids are going to be excited. And yes, that's true. Like she said, and then we went to the gas station and slept in the car. And then, yeah, if you have a good attitude as a parent, then your kids are less likely to be upset that they're sleeping in a car. But I can't just imagine like how many of the weekends of her kids were spent driving to different cities in the winter, sitting in a cold, dark car, being with a babysitter that maybe they didn't know, maybe they just met the first time on that day, and then sleeping in a cold car in the middle of winter. And if we are so financially vulnerable that we can afford to go to the conference, but we can't afford a safe, warm place to sleep, then maybe we shouldn't be going to the conference. And here she's making it seem like she was so dedicated and like ready to sacrifice for success in her Amway business. So that's why she was willing to sleep in her car. But I feel like that's not something to brag about. I feel like if we can avoid sleeping in our car with children or otherwise in the middle of winter, we should probably do that. And so if I was taking my kids somewhere and we had to sleep in a car in the middle of winter, we wouldn't go. I'd be like, no, sorry, we can't afford a hotel room. It's too cold to sleep in the car. We're going to stay home tonight. What do you guys think? Camping in the city, good grief. Yeah, I wonder what her kids would have to say about that now. Exactly. You know, they were listening to stupid motivational tapes the whole way. Fun for the whole family. Yeah. And you're just sitting there listening to tapes like, oh, just think positively and then your life will change. Oh, sacrifice for your business. Show the plan 5 to 6 nights a week. And then when you grow up listening to those tapes, listening to the messages of those tapes, you are very likely to join Amway yourself the moment you are 18. It's okay. Okay, let's keep going.
Well, if mom thinks it's fun, they think it's fun. Hello? Right? If you're acting like it's a drag, it's a drag. But if you think it's fun, they think it's fun. So we had picnics in the car. We had camping in the car. Oh, by the way, this is a Volkswagen. Some of you are too young to remember that, but they were called Bugs appropriately. And I used to wear one. You know, you just put it on and you stir it up and you take it to work. Literally, the first day I drove it, I couldn't figure out reverse because I didn't know about that push down thing. So I just got it neutral and I got out and I pushed the car around the direction. It was very easy. Actually, it wasn't a problem at all. Then got it in the first gear to take off. But that's how I started.
Sorry, the audio is not very good. You can hear feedback and stuff, but you're not funny. Why are you telling jokes about how you didn't even know how to put your Volkswagen Beetle or Bug into drive, and so you're just pushing it around? This is a business training. We should be talking about how to build our business, aka how to recruit and how to sell. And why are we talking about like we couldn't start our car at a business training. I feel like it's because like we want to seem relatable, we want to seem funny and down to earth just like them, and then they can like visualize themselves in our story. They often tell people this is a family business as if the kids are a part of it. Yeah, we're going to hear that later. I used to sleep in mom's van while she was in the bar. She had lots of fun. Right? Aw, I distinctly remember it not being fun. Yeah. I feel like it wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be fun even if your parent is there, even if it's warm out. I don't know, but that's just me. No judgment if you like to sleep in your car. I'm not judging. I'm just like questioning why we're going to an Amway event if we can't afford to sleep in a hotel room, or we don't have a friend we could stay with, or we can't find like an Airbnb, you know?
You need to feel encouraged yet. So when you talk about I have no time and I have no money, I always say I'll match you. I was teaching full time at a university. I taught 35 piano students every week. I would go back to the college and teach 4 nights of night school. And then I directed community theater on Saturdays. And then at church on Sunday, I played the organ and directed the choir. Tell me you're busier than that. And then no money. Remember me? I'm already in the hole every month. So when they told me we could make $400, I was extremely excited because that's exactly how much I was in the hole every month.
Wow, apparently they said you can make $400, and that's the exact amount she was in the hole, apparently. Wow, like that is such a coincidence, right? And of course, there's always the contest about who is busiest, who has the least money, who has the most responsibilities, and because what's her name? Beverly Saley, whatever her name is, was able to build her business to a fancy high rank. That means you can do it too, and you're less busy. So why are you complaining? Just get over it and do your work. I can't stand the haha, I'm busier than you. We see this all the time. I've seen it in countless Beachbody calls, in countless anti-MLM videos on this platform. It's said constantly, and I hate it. We all have different capacities to handle certain levels of stress, certain levels of busyness, and just because something is easy for me to handle doesn't mean it's going to be easy for my sister to handle. You know, we're all different. These kids were definitely not fun. Freezing in the car overnight. Did the cops come by and question them? Did they have to hide there? Did the kids complain and get told not to? Did they really have a good time? Probably not. Sometimes parents like to remember situations in a more positive light because it's painful to think that their kids had a painful childhood and that they're responsible for it. Interesting. These origin stories always have a lot of interesting coincidences, right? She needed $400 a month, and that's just so happened to be how much they said she could make. My nose is clogged so bad.
I made $800. I had $1,200 worth of bills. So even a music teacher can figure out, hey, if I had 400, I could just like get even, you know? So I realized I didn't know much about business. I could tell you all about Beethoven and Bach and the boys, but I didn't know anything about business. But suddenly it dawned on me, they have a school. Today you are in school. And isn't it nice you can chew gum in this school? You know, you can drink a coffee, you can have a water. Hopefully you don't, talk to each other or you have your cell phone on. But, this is a relaxed school. But you are learning. And the best part about this school is you don't have to get a loan to come to it. And you can make money while you are in school. That's a good kind of school, isn't it? And so we create our own.
Again, downplaying the importance of post-secondary education. It's not for everyone. And that's fine. That's wonderful. But there is value in getting a degree. Even if you don't use that degree for your job, you learn certain kinds of skills. You learn problem solving. You learn independence. You learn to take initiative in a workplace. She's saying, I knew nothing about business. I had music degrees. That you learned important skills in your music degrees that helped you in your Amway business. I don't care what degree it is, you learned some kind of skill. And it makes me really upset when people in MLMs talk about how they just undervalue college, university education because, you have to go into debt and it's not even going to be related to your job. So you should do this instead. But if I go and do a degree in political science and then I don't end up getting a job in political science, I still have that on my resume to show, look, I'm a good writer. I can do research. I can probably speak well, probably had to do presentations. Maybe I've had to do debates so I can verbalize my thoughts clearly, right? I can take initiative because I had a lot of work during my political science degree. There are still skills that are valuable in the workplace. What do you guys think about that? It makes me annoyed. Makes me annoyed. Aw, I know I'm projecting, but I feel so bad for those kids. At least I had music to listen to, not stupid motivational tapes. Aw. Yeah, I do too. It's no fun. It gives credibility to the whole idea of just believing and finding a way. Mm-mm. The origin stories have a very chosen one vibe. True, true. Love that comment. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going.
Capital as we go. So however much your budget is that you need every month, whether it's, money for babysitting or money for gas in your car, I think you need that here. It's very expensive, your gas here, I think. And so whatever it is that you need, then create it out of your clients. And hello, what's happening to your PV all the time? Oh, it's going up at the same time. So when I finally got that through my very thick and stubborn head, things began to happen and things started to grow. So I began to dream about the future and what it could be. And the children had very specific responsibilities. Paul was 4. His job was to deliver the...
Okay, sorry. So apparently we can make this business whatever we want. If we need an extra $400 a month for groceries, if we need gas in our car, we just have to work our business so we can meet those goals that we have. And we have to sell. We have to get the customers that we need. We have to get the distributors that we need in order for us to reach that goal. Like, it's so easy. All we have to do is just verbalize a goal and then it will magically come true because we know that's how life works. Page actress said they're special because they are chosen to believe and so they succeeded. So they chose to believe, so they succeeded. And if you believe, then you'll be special too, not foolish like those 9-to-5 idiots. True. You agree about degrees? Yeah, totally. And there's also value in life experience too. I'm not saying a degree is the only way that we can get a job, but I just can't stand the undervaluing of post-secondary education. I can't stand it. Yeah, if the business is not working for us, it's because we are stubborn. It's always our fault. Even if we follow everything our upline tells us to do, we follow their system to a T, there's something wrong with us, right? Can't stand it. Okay, this is the interesting part. I'm going to let it play for a bit and then we'll talk about it.
Orders to the neighbors. Now, I lived out of town a little ways, and so when somebody ran out of dishwasher soap, they didn't go to the store, they called Beverly. And so Paul would run down to their house and give them the dishwasher soap. The key thing was I had it where? On hand. It wasn't, I can order that for you. I had it on hand because that was a customer. So he'd go down there, and the joke was, I'd always say, Paul, make sure you get the check. They'd always give him candy, cute little boy. I said, forget the candy. I need the check. That's the way it was with the piano students too. Some weeks they paid, and some weeks they didn't pay. So that was always our little joke. So Paul would deliver the orders. Debbie's job at 7.
So 4-year-old Paul, just a little guy. Imagine, I know it's a different time. I don't know when her children would have been 4. I'm imagining the kids at around 4 years old now would not have like the wherewithal to go and like bring a product to someone's house, make sure they get the product, then they get the payment and then get back home safely. I can't imagine any 4-year-olds nowadays being able to do that properly, independently, and safely. And again, yes, why does a 4-year-old have business responsibilities? Why do they have any role in your business other than maybe like hanging out with you while you pack your orders? Because I don't see anything wrong with our children being involved or wanting to learn more about our business if it's not Amway, if it's not an MLM that are inherently unethical, inherently fraudulent business structures. Because if this was just a small business, say we had an Etsy shop and our 4-year-old was excited to watch us make our products and wanted to help us put them in the bags or put the stamps on, and we're teaching them how to actually run a small business on their own without hurting people, without putting people into debt, into financial vulnerability, then I don't see a problem with that. I do see a problem with a 4-year-old being in involved in the operation of your MLM business. Let's let 4-year-olds be 4-year-olds and be children. You had your inventory in your garage, in your car, in your closets, anywhere it would fit. Interesting how she's like, you have to have it on hand. You have to have it on hand so your 4-year-old can run it a couple blocks away to your neighbor so you can always have something to sell. What if you are buying all this inventory, you are going to all the conferences, you are sleeping in cars with your kids, you're doing everything, but you're not seeing financial gain, financial improvement from it. So you're wasting all your time, you're wasting all your money, and nothing's coming from it. There it is. Make sure to buy your own products and lots of it. Yes, but it's not actually going to benefit you. It doesn't actually help you unless you can find people who are willing to buy. It helps me. Yes, inventory loading for sure. I could imagine a 4-year-old doing this when I was growing up, unless taking something to a very close neighbor who was known. Okay, because like when I was 4, I wouldn't have been allowed to do that. Might have been allowed to do that when I was like 8 or 9, but at 4, no way. I didn't go anywhere by myself. But I'm sure like parenting was different in like other decades, so I can't speak to other decades. I'm glad you guys see why that's a strange thing to do. I'm glad you all agree with me.
Was to answer the phone nicely and take the orders. You know children can answer the phone well if you train them. Hi, this is Debbie speaking. May I take your order, please? So she'd write it all down, and then he'd deliver the order to the neighbors. So they each had specific jobs.
So the little daughter also had to answer the phones. And again, nothing wrong with teaching your small child a new task, a new skill, because there is value in learning how to answer the phone and having like a calm and relaxed conversation with someone, because you are going to need to, when you're older, you're going to need to be able to sit still in school, talk to your boss, talk to your doctor when you go for an appointment. Nothing wrong with that. But I don't like the fact that in this story, her 2 young children, instead of being a child, instead of having fun and doing things that they enjoy, they were involved in pushing her MLM business forward. And they were not aware that the vast majority of people who were joining her business were losing money and were being mistreated. Oh. And if a 4-year-old doesn't want to do it, they're just stuck in a 9-to-5 mindset too. Yeah, so what happens if her downline listens to her talking about getting their kids involved? They go home and try to get their little kids involved. Their kids are like, no, I want to play soccer. Don't make me do that. And they don't do it. Are they going to feel like crappy parents? What do you think?
When I went out to show the plan, it was a reward for them because they got to go to a friend's house. I found a mother who...
Showing the plan was a reward for the little children because they got to go to a friend's house.
Husband worked late at night, and she had 2 children my kids' age, and I would take the kids over there with their sleeping bags, more inconvenient for me, but more fun for them. A mom that I knew would take care of them, and they would stay there, and she'd help them with their homework and tuck them in their little bags, and I'd come in about midnight, pick them up in their bags, and carry them home. Difficult, but worth it, because I wanted to make...
Is it worth it though? Because I understand that parents aren't going to be there every single night with their kids. Not every parent has the privilege of spending all their time with their kids. That's not the point here. But at least if you can't help your children with their homework every single night, at least you are making money to provide for them, to get them new clothes or a fun new toy. In this case, you are missing out on spending time with your kids, doing their homework with them, to sell the dream to people, and you're not even going to make money off of it unless people join you. And those people, sorry, I'm like spitting. I'm getting so annoyed. Okay. And those people who you're selling the dream to, even if they join, they are not going to be better off financially. So you are missing out on time with your kids for a not very ethical or moral reason. It's not a reward to go with your mom to show the plan. Exactly. Anyone who's been in Amway, whose parents were in Amway, I feel like they would probably second that thought. No quality to the time. Yes. Why am I get so annoyed with these Amway videos, man.
make sure my children were taken care of and they were having a good time at the same time. But we had goals all the way along. When mom hits 15%, you can spend $15 in the catalog. And when we go silver, you get a silver bike. So I made sure the day we hit silver that they each got a new silver bike. That was a big deal.
Why are we connecting fun things for children? And $15 in the catalog is not fun, but why are we rewarding children with a silver bike for us getting to a rank in our MLM business? Right? And so is every positive, happy experience in their lives connected to an Amway milestone? And why can't, if we have the resources, we have the financial capability, why can't we just get our kids a silver bike because we want to get them a silver bike and not connect it to our Amway milestones? And in what world is it fun for a child to look at a pamphlet and pick home goods products? Why is that a reward for a child? Oh my gosh. As a child of Amway IDOs, those meetings are not a reward at all. And if you aren't having fun, you can't leave for hours and hours. Yeah, I bet. And these meetings, from what we've learned on this channel, they're hours and hours. They can go till midnight. Then you have to drive home, and then you have to wake up early for work, and then you're sleep deprived, and then you have to do it the next day.
I said, okay, now we're going to work really hard. And when we go Emerald, we're going to Hawaii. You know how long that took? 4 years later. 4 years later. It's good for children to wait. It's good for them to work on a goal. How many times does your son or daughter want something, you stomp their feet a little bit or put their lip out so you get it for them? But teaching them that delayed gratification was one of the most important lessons that they learned about life. That things don't come easy and they don't come quickly. And so 4 years later, we went to Hawaii as a family, had a great time, saw the whales and just, really enjoyed ourselves. Rented a helicopter to look around the islands, wonderful time. So I said, okay, kids, we're going to go back home and work. And when we go diamond, we're going to come back to Hawaii and you can each bring a friend.
So they were able to go to Hawaii, which is amazing and fun. However, why is an amazing, fun experience for your children connected to a freaking Amway milestone? If you have the resources, just take your kids to Hawaii. I think it's because they probably want their kids to join Amway the moment they turn 18, right? So they're trying to connect positive, happy moments in their life to Amway to make it seem like Amway is what made it all possible. And then, oh, kids, once we go diamond, we can go back and you can bring some friends. Just do a nice thing for your kids' friends. Like, don't do this. Oh, if you're not willing to sacrifice everything up to and including your children's mental health, are you even motivated? That was your goal, lady, not theirs. Yes, and if we go home and work and we get to diamond, we can come back. Why are your children working for you to get to diamond, ma'am?
Suddenly they had very many friends. But I said they don't qualify as a friend unless they're buying from us or they're in our business. Yeah? And you know what? It's amazing. It's amazing how they can prospect. This was the deal.
Did you hear that? They are not your friends unless they're buying from us or they are in our business. So are you teaching your children, you just said prospecting, are you teaching your children to make friends only based off of who's buying products? So what if your child meets a great little kid that they want to be friends with, but their parents don't want to buy from you? So are you teaching them that friendship is transactional, that friendship is only based off of your friend's parents buying shit off of your family? Those are really bad lessons to teach your kids. Those are really it's setting a bad example. It's setting a bad example. And I hope that if this story is true, I hope those children put aside what their parents taught them and were good people growing up and treated people with respect. So I'm going to let it play for longer than 20 seconds because I'm just getting annoyed.
Made with them. How many of you know what a prospecting tape is? You know what those are. I said, if you get the tape to one of your friend's parents or to a teacher, I'll give you $10. If I get the plan in front of them, you get 25. So Debbie would go to her teacher and say, you have a very bad car. You need to talk to my mother. Kids can get away with this. It's amazing. 4 years later, we went diamond. And I remember the day before we left on our trip, I was asked to speak by the company for.
So, ma'am, not only are we forcing our children to do our work for us, we are paying them to do certain tasks too. Like if someone you prospect agrees to hear the plan, you get $25. If you, what was the other one? Get a tape to someone, you get $10. At least you're paying your kids for their time, but I would rather you pay your kids for like doing chores around the house or for cleaning up the beach with you. Say you take your kids and some garbage bags down to the beach and you say, we're going to do something good for the environment. We're going to clean up the beach together. If you pick up 100 pieces of garbage, I'll give you $20. That's a good lesson, right? You're teaching your kids the value of hard work, and you're also teaching them the value of cleaning up their community. Why can't we teach them that kind of lesson? Why are we teaching our kids to see their teachers and to see their friends as dollar signs? You're encouraging Amway to not do anything fun like outings or vacations until you hit PIN levels. So Amway outings can become your only outings. Barbecues, Christmas parties, all with Amway. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. I'm sorry. The teacher story is horrible. Why would she let the child insult their teacher if she couldn't benefit from it? How is it okay to teach them that so you can make money? How is it okay to teach your kids to be rude to their teachers? Great point.
A regional event. Now I'm a brand new diamond. I'm single. I'm scared to death. I know you can't believe that, but it was in 1841 or something. It's a long time ago. So I'm standing up on this stage with this huge crowd in the Long Beach Arena, and here on the front row is Rich DeVos. And next to him is a couple I hadn't met yet, Jim and Nancy Dornan. And I'm a brand new diamond. And I was telling them about my dream of taking my children to Hawaii, and that they each had brought a friend, and that we were leaving the next day. So we're up very early in the morning. You know how it is before really cool. Sleep at all, do you? You jump on, pack one more thing. You look at everything again. You don't sleep at all. So we're up early the next morning. We're all dressed in our Hawaiian outfits, and we have on our sunglasses and our sun hats, and we're the typical Hawaiian tourists. We're ready to go. So we're standing out in front of the hotel, each of the children with their friend, and we're looking for the bus to take us to the airport. No bus comes. We're waiting. I said, where's the bus? And the bellman says, there's no bus this time of morning. I said, there has to be a bus. We've been working on this goal for 4 years. We cannot miss that plane. I'm thinking about all those late charges and changing flights, which I couldn't afford and all that. And he said, no, there's no bus. And the children start crying, Mom, we've worked so hard.
You couldn't afford the change fees, even though you're a diamond and you're treating your children and their friends to a trip to Hawaii. Why can you afford the fees? Let's let her finish the story.
For this goal, we can't miss our plane because we don't have a way to get to the airport. And then the bellman says, yes, but this was ordered for you. And I look over, and a big, long, white limousine comes up to the hotel. The kids, I'm standing with my teeth hanging out, thinking, who's going to pay for that? And the kids just jump in the car. They open the windows. They got the Cokes going. Come on, Mom, we're going to Hawaii. They're just waving out the top of the car. And about that time, I hear a voice behind me. Would you like me to take a picture? It was Rich DeVos. And he had ordered.
Bullshit. I highly, highly doubt that. Because we've heard stories from Rich himself where he's like, I don't care what PIN level you are. I love you. I care about you. We've heard Dexter Yeager say, my downline's my family. They're my kids. I highly doubt that. Okay, first, did we notice the name dropping? She's just a lowly new diamond, and she was on stage with Rich DeVos, Jim, and Nancy Dornan, all right there. She has direct access to Amway royalty. Therefore, she is legitimate. Her business is legitimate, and we need to want to join her so we too can have a legitimate growing business. Second off, I highly doubt this is true, that a brand new diamond, someone relatively low in the on the totem pole, not making $10 million a year in Amway, said to Rich DeVos, oh, my kids and I are going to Hawaii tomorrow, and he just happens to send a limousine. I doubt it. Boo, Rich DeVos. PH actress, do you think Rich DeVos would have sent a limousine to a new Diamond's house to bring them to the airport? And let's say he did. Let's say he did. Why? It's not because he cares about the happiness and the happiness and excitement of what's her name? Beverly and her children. No, it's because he wants Beverly to stay in Amway for longer. In my opinion, if that story is true, which I highly doubt it, it is a love bombing technique. In my opinion, a manipulation technique to keep her in longer. Did you notice she said her children were upset? Oh, we've worked so hard. We met our goal. We have to go. Why are your children working so hard in your business? I'm going to say it like 1,000 times. Why? Why? Because she would tell the story over and over. Oh. My theory is she was scheduled to speak and he wanted her to tell a great story about him. Oh, do you think so? Do you think? Do you agree that it probably didn't happen?
Ordered the car. And I was so excited, I handed him the camera. He took our picture, and I forgot to take his picture. But we grow, don't we? We change and we grow. But the journey is worth it. At the time, you think, this is so hard. I can never make this. I don't see how this will ever work. But as I look at my children now, my son's 29, my daughter's 33, their lives have been shaped by this business and by the people.
They sure have. 29 and 23. And they grew up doing your tasks for you, prospecting for you, giving tapes to the teachers, pitching a plan to their friends and the parents of their friends. So I would bet that those young adults, a 29 and 23-year-old, are probably in Amway today, and that probably made Beverly so happy. Now, I don't know when Beverly was alive. I don't know if she's still alive right now, but I could guess that they joined Amway at some point, probably the moment they turned 18. Because when it's literally all you know, when you start working your mom's business when you're 4 years old, what else are you going to do? It's possible, but it's hard to say. The group of diamonds is a very oddly orchestrated group. You can't get there even just by recruiting. They have to like you and accept you. Interesting. Thank you. So we are almost done. I'm going to let it play, and then we'll talk about what we learned.
People and the associations that they've met. When Debbie decided to go on a big tour of the UK a few years ago, she hung out at Derek and Pat's house. And my daughters also met Trevor and Jackie in other places in the world. And so is my son. So those kind of treasures, how can you measure that? And ladies, especially, you need to think about that. Because so many times, well, we're going to do this and it'll take time away from my children. Well, let's look at what your children are really learning. What are they learning about these kind of skills in school? What kind of things are they learning about?
Let's look at what your children are really learning. Are they learning about these kinds of things in school? Probably not. In school, they're probably learning like communication skills and how to be a good friend and problem solving. And they're learning basic math skills and writing skills and maybe how to play a sport. And they're learning things that will help them in high school and help them in their lives as adults, right? They're actually learning valuable things in school. Children in Amway are taught to prospect for their parents, are taught to take orders to people's houses and be cute so that people will pay them. Like, what's the more valuable time? What's the more valuable lesson for a child? What do you think? What do you think? Okay, so they had to like you and accept you, so even the few people who start qualifying Emerald get blocked if they don't like them. They destroy groups if they don't like you. There's no way for us to know if it happened. Oh. Hopefully they learn to write because I want to read Raised by Amway when they publish. Right? Right. Oh, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. And I can't stand that we're praising us sleeping in a car in the middle of winter with our kids. Why is that something to be praised? That's not something to be praised. Why in other Amway videos we've been praised like, oh, I was so tired I almost fell asleep at the wheel, but I still got to my event. Why is behavior like that being praised? So we heard Rocky Covington talk about how he was so scared that he wasn't going to go Amway, so he knelt on the side of a highway and he wept. Why is that being praised? If you're so stressed about your MLM business that you're kneeling on the side of a highway, maybe that's an issue because that's dangerous and you shouldn't be doing that because you could be hit by a car. Why is really unhealthy behavior being praised? I feel like I'm going in circles and I'm sorry, I'm being repetitive. If she really was diamond, he may have actually done it. After all, if she's a diamond, it means she fully knows how the tape scam works, and if okay, what? And it is okay profiting from it. Sorry, my phone acted up. No worries. No worries. So in this video, we've learned how to use our kids to help our business. We've learned how to attach positive, fun life experiences with our kids to our Amway milestones. We've learned to help our kids prospect their friends and their teachers. We've learned how to help our kids insult our teachers if they have a bad car. Because, hey, you have a shitty ass car. My mom can help you get a better car. We've learned how to treat people with disrespect and see them as a dollar sign. Sounded Shakespearean. Oh, do you mean this part? The wath. Yeah, is that what you mean? Okay, what else? We've learned that if you're going to be a shitty parent with a purpose. And like, we don't know if she was like a good parent or not. We're just going off of what we've heard here, right? And from my opinion, using your children to run your Amway business is not the greatest parenting decision. Sleeping with your children in a car in the middle of winter may not be a great parenting decision. Now, she might be a good parent in other areas, but in those areas, she made crappy ass decisions. Not very good decisions. Okay, that's all. I'm done. That was a shorter video, but I thought it was fine because I knew I had a lot to say. And I actually had it on 1.15 speed. And we got it done relatively quickly, which is good. Sorry that I had connection issues. I know it was annoying, but I think it turned out okay. I'm really happy that I had all these people here. This was very, very fun. And we learned something. We learned that Amway can impact how you parent and how kids are raised and how they treat others. And yeah, a short video, but it was disturbing. Exactly, Jolene. So I may or may not have a collab happening on Saturday. I'm not sure. So if I do have that collab happening on Saturday, I don't want to go live on Friday because I don't like doing 2 in a row. I used to do that all the time. And then randomly I got really tired and my brain hurt. And so I stopped doing that. So yeah, if I'm going live on Saturday, it won't be on Friday. So I'll see you guys on either Friday or Saturday if you're free. And yeah, there won't be a live on Sunday. And yeah, I hope you guys can join. That would be awesome. If not, you can catch the replay. In Amway, you find that every sacrifice is worth it. You believe it's a larger than life purpose, so it's okay to make your kids do things for it. That's extremely sad. And thank you for sharing that. But that's very sad. Oh. Amway's important to talk about, but it's always pretty heavy. So that's all I have for today. I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you have a great evening. Bye!